Hello there, and welcome to Think the Maker, a podcast about heroes, princesses, scoundrels, hokey religions, ancient weapons, and all things Star Wars. I'm Adam Russell.
I'm Nick Gambarian.
And I am Mike Forrester, and happy Christmas, merry holidays, joy to the world. We are joined by a very special guest, Greg Grunberg. You know him as Sean Bloomberg on Felicity, maybe Eric Weiss from Alias, Matt Parkman from Heroes, of course, Save the Cheerleader, Save the World, Phil in A Star is Born, but most importantly for us and for our purposes here today, we have Greg Grunberg himself, Snap Wexley.
Come on.
The Resistance.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Greg, how are you, man?
I'm doing okay. Snap Wexley.
Yeah.
Every time
That
I
never
hear
gets
that
old.
name, dude, the first time I heard that name was I land in London. JJ's like, come right. We're having a dinner for the cast.
Yes.
And this was episode 7. And I don't know who I'm playing. I don't know what I'm doing. This is
You just
JJ
said
always
yes.
does this to me. Exactly. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I get there and it's this Chinese restaurant and it's downstairs. So I go downstairs, and as I'm going down the stairs, I see they have the whole, it's just like the small kind of room.
Yeah.
And there's I see Oscar. I recognized him, didn't know him. And JJ and Kathy Kennedy's down there, never met her before. And she looks up and she goes, oh, there he is, Snap Wexley. I mean, right away I was like, yes, please. Oh my God. Yes. Like that name, right?
So good, dude.
You're like, Snap Wexley is actually a Jawa. Greg, you're going to have a lot of fun with this. This is going to be really great.
Exactly.
That
You're
is-
going to be in makeup and hair and
Yes.
prosthetics and a whole bunch of things. I want to know, each one of you, favorite character name, and you don't have to say Snap Wexley, but honestly, from Star Wars, like just the name alone.
Putting us on the spot already.
Yeah.
Greg, what's
I
happening?
know, but
here?
you're not allowed to ask any detailed questions about Star Wars for me because I'm just a massive fan, but not
Sure.
detailed.
Sure.
We will get into that. Well,
I
I
like
just
it.
want to know, what do you, Adam? Come on, give me a name that you just go.
Now we're on Snap Wexley's podcast.
Fly high, boys. The Resistance is here.
I think Fennec Shand is a really cool name. Actually.
Yeah.
That's recency bias.
Total
there.
recent. I was going to say total recency bias because the first thing that popped without thinking was Babu Frick.
Yeah.
Babu
Yeah,
Frick's a good one.
Too. Bobby
That's-
Frick's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
great. There is something, if we're going to go with recent, because we're all fans. I love Cad Bane. Cad Bane
okay.
sounds like a bounty hunter. He sounds like he is exactly the character. Like when you think of a character and you think of them,
Yeah.
Cad Bane just fits for me. Just something
yeah.
about the way he does things. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've always been just Darth Vader.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that's an obvious one, but oof.
It
Yeah.
fits. It just fits. And then we always like joke about like the Dune thing where it's like, we have all these amazing characters. This is, Jabba the Hutt and all these. And then we just have Luke.
Yeah.
It's just Luke. It's Paul Atreides. It's Luke. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, just, I'm wondering where Matthew is in the
Right.
Coming
That's
soon.
true. But the last name is so visually interesting.
Right.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
Come on.
Snap Wexley is like, in my mind, it has, I don't know exactly how to articulate it, but it has the elements that you expect out of a Star Wars character who's like a supporting character, because it's got like an action in it.
Yeah.
And it's got a name that sounds like it's a mashup of a couple different last names.
Or the Beastie Boys mentality, Eloatzi and all those,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Mike and I have been writing some Star Wars stuff, some shorts and things like that. And I have this giant note in my phone of potential names, and a good half of them are like single syllable action words for the first name, and then some other kind of shit like that. And it's just
Crash Binley.
Yeah, I'm into it. I like it. When is he on screen? When is Crash on screen? We're ready.
I mean, you told us not to pick Snap Wexley, but dude, it's honestly one of the best names.
So wait, I have a question. I know you said you don't get too deep, but do you know your character's your first name? Because Snap's a nickname.
Yeah, Temin.
Okay, Temin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Temin.
I remember reading a book somewhere along the line where I was like, oh, he's in this book.
Yeah, I get from fans, I get people that come up to me and give me the history of, your mom was an incredible pilot and
Yeah, sure.
and all that stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. And I shouldn't say never. I do lie sometimes, but most of the time I'm just as honest as I can be because
Yeah, you gotta be.
Star Trek is a lot more intimidating. Like when I'll do a convention or I'll sometimes they ask me to host a panel or something. And
Sure.
Will Wheaton said, he was like, dude, none of these people want you to pretend that you know more than you do. Just
Be you.
So, but Star Wars was like my thing. It was my jam. Like JJ and I like fucking loved this thing when we were growing up.
Yeah.
It was the first. It was like, and I've said this a million times, but it was the first movie that I came out of where I was like, wait, where did these characters come from? And where do you think they're, where do I think they're going? And it was, once it had you, and it had me from,
Yes.
I was just like, wow. I mean, George Lucas, everybody says it, but just an absolute genius.
Yeah, changed the world. Not even just changed entertainment, but just changed the world. It's crazy.
Like, but your mentality.
Mythology, we always say this.
Yeah, 100%. And like your appreciation for wanting to know about character, it's like that was a vessel for you kicking off appreciation of literature and story. And you know what I mean? And I think like in screenwriting and acting, people don't put enough emphasis on the literature of it all, right? Because like that's why it holds us on there rather than like the flash and the kapow of all these modern abilities that we have to do things. But like I love that is something that you took from it to say like I'm invested in character now.
Yeah, 100%. And also a lot of what I read, and I'm sure you guys as well, you can go, oh, this meets that. Or this is, it's so familiar, and it's just another variation of especially like, I'm a big fan of sitcoms and TV when it's very, very familiar. This was not for me. When I was a kid, I was like, I've never seen this before. Yeah. And it obviously, as you get older and the more now that we have streaming and so many things, it's very, very hard to find something fresh that will do that. Is so inventive and
so true.
Yet the themes might be Kurosawa based or whatever, but I just remember that. And Star Trek was the same way, but again, Star Wars was my thing. I watched Star Trek, the original series, but I don't know. I got lost in Star Wars, and I wasn't reading any of the books or reading anything back then, even comic books or graphic novels or anything like that. But it just was one of those things that I just remember so fondly. And I'm like hard pressed to remember anything else of that time that captured me that same way. I don't remember anything else.
You're in good company. We all feel the same way.
Yeah, like toys for sure. Like I love the movies, but toys were really what was the glue for me because that kept it fresh for me, playing with them. But also it was like, hey, this is capitalism 101, but it was like family bonding going to Toys R Us to buy new toys, like that was definitely a big part of it.
I go to estate sales. I love estate sales. I love that. And there's an app or a website. I think it's called estatesales.net. And you can, and it alerts me. It just alerted me because every Thursday, it's like usually some on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I end up getting absolutely nothing at these things, but occasionally, like backgammon. Backgammon is my thing. I love backgammon. I find backgammon sets.
I love this.
But when I come across a Star Wars toy, dude, oh my God.
No.
And what's interesting is like, I'm not, I'll look at it and go, oh man, and then I also have a value app, like an app.
Of course.
Right. But I'll never think, oh, I can take this home and resell it and make $15 or $100. No, it's always like, I'm going to cherish it. Oh my God, I got to show you guys. Can I show you guys something?
Absolutely. I love this. This is great.
Oh my God. This is incredible. And this is not a toy that I bought, but this is just, how this my proudest moment as a father. Okay. We're shooting 9. I think we're shooting 9. And my kids they're grown men, or they're older and kids, and they had never been to Europe. So we're like, all right, let's go back to Christmas. Is like, we take off for Christmas. So Pinewood Studios, no one's there. And we're in London, and my wife and I take our 3 boys, and we take them and we go. And the security guard is like, all right, so no pictures, right? Nothing. And Mr. Grunberg, he was really nice, but he was very like overly set. There's no one there. And he's like, don't touch anything and blah, 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 but I'll give you a tour or whatever. Yeah. And he's a security guard. Takes us, and the first thing he does when he gets on set, in this, where the Millennium Falcon is, and
oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, is right. He goes, "Hey, can I get a photo?" And I was like,
"You just said no photos."
He goes, "I had to say that shit in there. Do whatever you want." So take the picture with me, and then he goes, "All right, your boys are going to get the treatment." The Millennium Falcon is like the beginning, the front of it, where they're flying the ship is like it's shit. It's like it's just this thing. You have to climb up into it. There's all green screen in back of it or in front of it or whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes, "But your boys have to sit. You have to sit in the seats."
Sure.
So I'm like, "Oh God." So he goes, "I'm gonna go get a ladder." So he gets a ladder, and there's a point to this. He gets a ladder, comes back. The boys all go up. I'm scared they're gonna fall.
Right.
The boys all go up. They all sit in the chairs. And they're in there and they're like, this is super cool, right? It doesn't look like anything, but it's whatever. They're in there,
right?
And it's a place that I never sat. I mean,
sure,
JJ and I are walking around, whatever. We're just absorbing all of it. But anyway, and then he goes, "All right." He either had a call or he moved the ladder back for some reason, and he was like, "Oh, I got to get down." So there was a time when he wasn't there. He comes back. We get down. This is at the end of the tour. Or seeing everything. And then we go in the car and my son goes, one of my boys, Sam, goes, "Ben, tell Dad, dude, tell Dad." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Ben stole something."
No way.
Yeah. I go,
"Okay, what did you steal?"
Right. I was like, "What am I getting?" No, I was like, "What did you steal?" Chewie's seatbelt, guys.
Oh my goodness. That is, Greg, is honestly a little less than what I thought. I thought it was going to be like the hyperdrive lever, and I was like, I feel like we need that for the
guys.
That is awesome.
And especially since, what's his name? Johnson, or who directed
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson. I forgot his name because he didn't hire me. But anyway, no, he was interviewed, and somebody specifically asked about seatbelts in the Falcon.
Yeah, sure.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, well, blah blah blah," and he was talking about Chewie's seatbelt, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I have it! I have one." Obviously, this is nothing. It's just a seatbelt with a thing.
I was gonna say Chewie is flying unsafe.
That's
without a seatbelt
because of me.
It's amazing. Snap Wexley
I crashed the plane and lost. Okay, so do whatever you're gonna do.
That's a great. I was gonna say the quickest way to become a co-pilot is to get the other current co-pilot ejected. So that's actually a very smart play to get Snap Wexley in the seat.
Exactly.
It's like a movie prop. Especially if it's old, it's probably like kind of falling apart.
Yeah, but even the new stuff, Nick. I was just gonna say,
sure, yeah.
I'm in episode 7. I'm in the Millennium. I mean, I'm in my X-wing. Yeah. And it's basically like riding a bull. It was on a
hydraulic.
It was on a hydraulic thing.
Yeah.
And Oscar was up there. They walked me to set, and I look up, and he's on it, and it's up. I mean, it's high up. You have to like climb up into it. And then back then in 7 and 9, it was different. But in 9, they put in the bars with the windows digitally. In 7, it was like they closed it in on me, and I'm not a petite flower, and so I'm a big guy, so it was like I was strapped in, whatever, and I'm holding the yoke, and so Nick, while we're doing it, the fucking yoke comes off of my hand, knobs are falling off, they're all like super glued on, or even rubber. It was
rubber cement,
yeah. So it's true. It's like as delicate as we want to be with these things. They're ready to fix everything, but it's the thing about what you said is these are props after the fact. These are like, museum pieces as opposed to like me. It's like practical. It's like, who cares? A bull in a china shop. I'm doing what I'm doing.
So all of this conversation leads me to what I have wanted to ask so many people, and you being, the first one that I feel like is like the right age, and it was in the right type of Star Wars property where this question is really relevant. I thought about this a lot when I heard that JJ was going to direct the first Star Wars sequel.
Yeah.
Because I've been a filmmaker for longer than I haven't in my life. Like my band got signed from a VHS tape that my guitar player and I made because we were editors. We always had cameras in our hands, right? So I'm more visually oriented than I am music, right? So I've been thinking about Star Wars since I was born, right? Through this, like, how do I make that? How do I get to do that kind of thing?
Right.
Kind of lens, right? But then as I get older and I've made a few things and whatever, I think about the idea of actually being in Star Wars or making Star Wars and being afraid to demystify it and kind of change my perspective on it. So this is kind of like a two-part question for you as an actor and for JJ, if you guys have talked about this at all. Was there ever a point where you felt like you might demystify it for yourself and you wanted to have a more objective view of it? And did JJ ever talk about wrestling with the idea of like, well, of course I want to do this because it's Star Wars, but then if I don't do it, is some other aspect going to screw it up? So like, I feel like an obligation to come in and do it right. And like, does any of this resonate?
Yes. Oh my God. It resonates 1,000%. And it's one of those things that you don't, when I met like Anthony Daniels and, Carrie and Harrison Ford, I mean, that's what the new people, I was like, wow, this is really good, cool. In episode 7, I've never met them before. I know they're going to be massive. This movie's going to be huge. But to sit there, there's this one scene where I was like, I went out on lead and I have to, talk about, okay, so this is what's going on. Everybody's standing around.
Oh, it's the plan at the holo table to go after Starkiller Base.
The holograph, the whole thing.
Yep.
And so I did my line, and then we do the rest of the scene or my lines, and then JJ goes, cut. Okay. And he comes up to me. JJ comes up to me. He goes, dude, you're watching the movie. So I said my lines, and then I was like, like not this, not that drastic, but you could see on my face that
and then what happens?
Holy shit. And so he says it, and he says it loud, and we're all standing there, and he says it not loud, but everybody kind of heard. And I was like, fuck you, dude. That's Harrison fucking Ford right there. I go, that's Princess Leia right there. And she goes, fuck off. I go, fuck you. I can't, this is crazy. So there was that moment, but I think that moment was for everyone. I mean, Bob Iger visited the set, and he was like, do you guys mind? Can I get some selfies with you guys? The man who's writing the checks, the mind behind, let's bring this back. Let's do So there was that.
He goes, my friends are never going to believe this.
Right. Exactly. And he's Bob Iger.
Yeah.
So, I think if you lose that wonder and that childlike, curiosity and just, I think that's a problem for obviously as a viewer. And I lost it. I guess I have to say I've lost it a little bit. It's very different when you're shooting though. Nothing looks the way it does, as a filmmaker, this, there's like the texturally, it's very, very flat and everything when you're shooting it. But I did have several moments. I mean, under the Millennium Falcon, in basically Black Park, we shot the exterior stuff, but they created in this massive soundstage at Pinewood, and there was an environment in there because of the amount of plants and the fact that it was essentially real. People were fainting because it was so humid, and it becomes its own sort of like weather system in there when you put that much in there, and they're pumping in the fog and whatever. But anyway, we're underneath the Falcon, and Billy D. Williams walks on set, and and I'm just like, I there's just no words, and I'm standing there, and he walks up, and I just and we're sitting and waiting for the shot to get, and he's just sitting there, and I know there's 300 people there, but I didn't even think anybody could hear me, and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry, Mr. Williams, you are the coolest of the cool. And he went, oh man, nah, dude, nah, you're the cool man.
Like, that's the coolest thing you could have ever said.
He doesn't even know who I am. He's just being so generous and sweet.
Can't argue, just take it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't argue. Yeah, ask my wife; she'll say the same thing. No, it's moments like that. My first thing that I actually shot was with Carrie. And it was an over my shoulder to her. And she's like, Snap, come on, man. It was that kind of moment. I forgot the exact lines. Yeah. But she says, get it together or whatever. And then she's supposed to just walk off screen. or actually she walks up to me and whispers something and then walks off. But she walks up, and as she's right next to me, she wraps her arms around me, grabs my ass, and says her lines, and then walks away. And I was like, "What? What just happened?" And she and I became fast friends right away. Billy and I are still friends, close. And so it was these weird moments that take you out for a second. But my appreciation, my fanboy, since I was a kid, it's so strong that I don't think, hopefully, and now that I'm dead in the series, unless they did flashback, I would, I don't think I'll ever lose it. And thankfully I'll never lose it. Now on the JJ side of things, I don't know how he did it, because you have to be the boss. It's your vision. Obviously he stayed as true as he could and wanted to, whatever. I thought he did such a brilliant job. He always does. And that is a little bit more challenging, I would think, because you're the boss. So
executive decision making and something like that is a lot.
And
getting direction.
Right. Yeah. But even more so, I think in the conceptual stage, when you're thinking, okay, where could this story go and whatever. And I know he kissed the ring several times. He would go meet George and Kathy. They would always be respectful and cast it. So I don't know. It's like, what liberties do you take? Where do you want to take it? But you want to be respectful. What are the rules? That's the other thing with Star Wars that just baffles my mind is I have a friend of mine, John Whitman, right? He writes some novels and Star Wars books. There's so many people that write books and things within the Star Wars canon. Do they ever all get together and go, all right, so what's coming in your world that I can see over here? Is it a coordinated effort, or is it just everybody for themselves? I guess it goes back to Filoni, and like he looks at it.
Group.
It's I just think it's very, really, really smart. I mean, you think of Marvel, you think of that, DC.
Yeah.
It seems much more like, okay, this is our plan, and here's the soldiers, and you go out. Right. I don't know, Star Wars, it just all sort of works, and it allows not fan fiction, but it almost feels like everybody I talk to, you guys included, it's like you've been doing this, you're so well known in the space, but yet you're still massive fans and giddy about all this stuff.
Dude, there's nothing like it. We talk about this all the time on the podcast. There's no other fictional universe that has the power that Star Wars does and works the way that Star Wars does. And I know, of course, we're biased. It's our favorite. But yeah, Marvel, there are the comics, there's the MCU, there are these reboots, all of these different things. And it spans who knows how many years now, how many decades. But like, Star Wars is so unique in the sense that it's a universe that started on screen, on the big screen, and went out from there rather than, source material to screen or whatever other.
That's a good point.
Thing, so it's
I do think too that I think Marvel will get there because we're coming up probably on like 20 years of Marvel eventually. But I mean, Star Wars is about to be 50. But I really do think a big thing is that it's just not placed on Earth. Like there's such you always have a layer of fantasy because it's just not here. Like, yes, you see humans, but there's no mention of anywhere you've ever been. They don't.
And by the way, and for like Rogue One for me, I was like, "Ooh, this feels grounded. This feels like Earth."
Sure,
the battles and all that stuff. I was like, "Oh," and I love the new stuff. I love all the new stuff. Mandalorian, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I as sensitive as you would think they'd have to be, and as delicate, they've taken some really big swings, and I think they've done it
absolutely
great ways. I mean, there are very few things that I've watched and gone, I don't even know I can even think of one where I'm like, oh, Jar Jar is the only thing that I was like, man, what a misstep that was. I just hated that.
And then looking back on it now that we have learned so much about that process, did you watch Light and Magic, the documentary about ILM?
No, I want to.
Okay, I swear that maybe that particular series might change your entire perspective on Jar Jar Binks as a character, because that was so groundbreaking for the time to do a completely CGI character in a performance mocap like that. And knowing Ahmed Best and his development of how involved he got with other characters.
Yeah.
I would be very interested to hear your perspective after you watch that, because I think what's amazing about it. And as we were just the previous episode, we were talking about how much we love The Force Awakens. And as the internet kind of put its ugly fangs into opinions, and people that shouldn't be sharing their opinions are somehow very loud about their opinions. And we were talking about how the adventure that the sequel trilogy took us on, looking back retrospectively, now that enough time has passed and we've had so much more Star Wars since then, it has really changed our like my appreciation for them was always there, but since time has passed, I am like, these are freaking awesome movies.
Yeah.
And the way that I look at how some of the characters were handled and how we got the closure of Luke Skywalker in a lot of ways, like looking back on that retrospectively, as we're about to see more MCU characters get brought back in because of whatever reason, I'm like, Luke's ending might have been perfect.
Yeah.
In a crazy way that I don't know if I appreciated at the time, but looking at all of these things with time, I'm curious your perspective on, like, you know, how you've come to appreciate, you know, you like new Star Wars, and then you're also looking at, I'm sure, those times of the sequels and going, man, like, we did amazing stuff here.
Yeah, I it's funny. I appreciate and love the new stuff, but I'm not invested in it.
Sure.
And I think that's what it is. It's this investment. It's this childhood. It brings me back when I watch and watching it with any person that hasn't seen it. You know, I'm hard pressed to find anybody that hasn't seen Star Wars, but there are occasionally that happens. It'll happen like with one of my boys and that girlfriend. They'll be like, "Yeah, I never," and I'm like, "What?" Yeah. And so I'll watch it with them and seeing it again through somebody's eyes for the first time. It's incredible, but there, I guess that's the only way, if that makes any sense. Just the investment that I have as a human being, like it molded it made such an impression on me as a kid growing up. You know,
100%.
When it's interesting, and you guys are creators, so I'll find myself, and it's subconsciously I've taken from themes and characters and stuff, and and I'll create something. Like I have a I don't know if you guys have seen my Dream Jumper, my graphic novel series. If you haven't, you have to check it out.
Please do.
God.
Yeah,
please check it out. It did really well. It's in Scholastic, put it out. But it's
I'm
my son
right now.
Yeah. Dream Jumper books 1 and 2. I partnered with Lucas Turnblum, who's an incredible illustrator and storyteller. But that in that, it was like, you know, it's this kid who's able to jump in and out of his friends' dreams and save them from their nightmares. So he has the ability of being a dream jumper, and he doesn't
love that.
But he doesn't know that he's doing it. Then he comes from a long line of dream jumpers, and then there's the dark side. There's the Nightmare Lord that we created, and it's all, you know, thematically, it's very gotta go. Well, I mean, it's good versus evil, of course, but it's after the fact appreciation. That was my whole point, is that I'll create something, I'll write something, and all of a sudden I'll be like, hey, wait a minute, this is, you know, or someone will bring it to my attention and go, that's very Star Wars like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't steal from it, but you know, it's such a part of my thinking, my process, my creative
character as a whole.
Characters, yeah. So it's just really interesting. And by the way, for someone like JJ, you know, to be so in love with it as a kid, I think, and all of us were, but I think it really helps his storytelling because it's ingrained, and it's sort of, I think his instincts were shaped by Star Wars, you know, back in the day. So when coming up with the story and coming up with all that stuff was probably easier. I don't know. JJ's process is interesting because we're best friends. We talk every day, several times a day. He's my brother, and it's much more. That's, people always say, God, how lucky you are. I'm like, you have no idea. As a friend, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Forget professionally. None of that.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great when we're on set together, we get to work together, but he's just the best human I know. And, but you know, there's so many times that we reference stuff and we'll make jokes, and we will, you know, I'm sure you guys too, where you'd be like, oh, that's very Luke of you, or that's, you know, whatever. Always, that's our reference base, you know, on a lot of stuff. And we just love it.
Yeah, when anyone gets angry or whatever, it's just like, dude, you're going dark side right now.
You're right. Yeah.
Or, you know, you come out into my house, I'll walk by the bathroom, I'm like, dude, someone really dark side on that.
That's a big pile of Sith right there.
Dude, so
exactly.
I it's hard to not keep focusing on this specific like experience of getting the opportunity to work on Star Wars and how that changes things. But I'm so fascinated by it, and I I wonder, well, one, just quick yes or no question. Do you, as an actor, watch your work?
Yes.
And so typically, because I know a lot of people just like to act and they move on.
That's such bullshit. That's all lies.
Weird. It's weird to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I
my own band
more
than anything else. So.
Yeah, certain personalities, I guess people don't like it, but
Adam Driver said that Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens was the last movie that he watched of himself.
Wow, really?
Because he watched it with Carrie and Daisy and said that was the last movie that he watched. And I don't know if that's true, but or if that's been updated.
I gotta ask him that. I gotta ask him if that's true, because I gotta say he's one of those guys that I cannot blink when he's on screen. Like, you're gonna miss something if you blink. Adam is so good, man.
Yeah.
But so why would, maybe it's just so exhausting. He's invested, he put himself in these roles so much that he's like, okay, I want to leave it behind. Hey, look, I'll have an audition and I'll put myself on tape for a director or whatever. And like I'm not dropping names, but like Barry Levinson and Steven Spielberg, two guys that I got to work with. And on Paterno, Barry, like I put myself on tape. I sent it in. Months later, you got the job. Like, not you're gonna meet the director. I didn't even know what it was for. Spielberg too. I'm like, what project? When did I audition for a Steven Spielberg project? Yeah. It's all so secretive, Yeah. But I don't even know what my point is. It's like it's
watching your own stuff.
Yeah, watching my own stuff. It's like I forget. I put it behind me. I'll do it and forget about it. And sometimes it's like even on set, there's so much buildup and anxiety, and you want to be great. You want to hit those moments, and you want to give them. You don't want to give them bad options, because a lot of times in the editing room they'll be like, "No, that worked better," and you're like, "It was not as good as what I did."
Yeah.
But
that would freak me out. Like, just
it freaks you out.
Watching, like, trying to enjoy the story, and you're like, I know that wasn't the take. That wasn't the take, or that's there for the edit.
Or more than that sometimes, because I do play, and I'm happy to be number 7 on the call sheet. Right, that's my dream position. I've been number 1, I've been 2 and 3 a bunch of times, but I like being that guy that can just come in, zing, and leave. It's like you want more of that guy, right?
Yeah.
But there are moments, because I'm in that position where you'll hear my line, but we're on the star.
Oh yeah.
And those are the little moments when I go, oh my God, like I did a whole thing there.
Sure.
I was looking down when you would think I'd be looking at that. Oh, whatever. No, I didn't blink. I said that whole monologue without blinking, and they're not even on it.
I guess there's got to be some level of like healthy detachment, right? Like you have to be invested in it, and then also the complete opposite. You have to be invested in it to be good at it, and then be like, all right, that's it, I'm done.
Someone else's job from here.
Right. I mean, as much as I never complain, because I feel so privileged and lucky to be able to do what I'm doing, but also it's really a collaboration, right? So you hope that the director and the writer and the producer, they like believe in you enough that they go, oh yeah, you can change it up a little bit, as long as you're hitting the moments and hitting the words and everything. But like, you want to bring something more to it. That's our job, right? I'm not a robot. I'm probably going to be replaced by a robot so one of these days. But
bad robot.
All of
exactly.
Us. Yep.
But as much as it's a collaboration, I hope that they trust me in collaborating. When I do my performance, now I got to collaborate. That editing is probably one of the most important parts of the whole process. JJ and I just finished another movie that he's doing, and it's Sam Jackson and Glenn Powell and Jenna Ortega, and I have a little role in it. And there was this really fucking funny thing that I did, and JJ was like, "Dude," and I go, "Don't even fucking say it." And he goes, "Yeah, it's gone." I'm like, "No,
come on,
you had to."
Sure.
You had to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
you got to kill your babies.
Yeah, exactly. And so you have to trust the collaboration every step of the way. And as an actor, you kind of have to let go. But it is hard. I mean, Nick, it's like exactly that. It's like you pour your heart into something, and then you're like, whoa. It wasn't exact. But that's filmmaking. Everybody brings something to the table.
It's like making albums. It's like anything.
I mean, so many people. It's like you do your thing, and then literally, think about like editing, like there's so many people who touch that one thing. It's crazy.
Yeah. And by the way, in Star Wars, like I was saying, something's flat. I mean, you do your thing and you go, or Heroes. Oh my God, Heroes. I was going like this. I was tilting my head, dude, hoping the visual effects and whatever they're going to do with the camera, shaking.
The styler's got to melt your head, and you're sitting there being
yes,
like, it hurts so much.
I'm like, save my performance, because what I'm doing is so nothing. And then, so yeah, it is a collaboration. There's so many people involved way after the fact. I mean, look, when I went down, right, in episode 9, I was like, please just cut back to me. Come back to me. Don't just come back to my ship. Come back to me dying. Like, I want to, and then of course Oscar going snap. I was like, yes,
nice
reference to my name before I go down.
Sure.
You know what I was thinking too, because you mentioned, like, obviously in 9 your character died, and you mentioned like flashbacks. I mean, there's a whole Mandalorian universe that, like, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. So
I know
we could start a campaign right now to bring Snap back if you want.
Exactly. Bring Snap back, man.
Right. Save Snap, save Ben Solo. We can start this campaign. Absolutely.
Save Snap, save the world. Let's bring it all back around.
There we go. Get the heroes fans back in. Oh my god.
The world. We can plural.
We'll see you at Comic-Con. You heard it here first.
Exactly.
Dude. I still, talking to you in some ways, you're kind of like easing the tension for me, but also, I don't know, because I think about like making an album or making like a music video. Like I just co-directed and edited our most recent music video, and it was like one of the most stressful projects I've ever been a part of. It was the hardest edit I've ever done by far. I've edited thousands of hours of shit, and this was the hardest thing I've ever done. Wrote the story, whatever. But I feel like for the month that we worked on it and all the time I sat right here at this desk editing, just like stressing myself out, I kind of blacked out in a way where now I'm far enough removed from it where I can put it on and just watch it and go, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sick,
Yeah.
Because like it's almost like you spend enough time on something, or you get like, you work hard enough,
vision.
Your brain, you get into a different mode. So when you can step back, it's almost like anything I work on in my house, any home improvement stuff, I'll do like, a marathon and do like an all-nighter. And then as like the sun's coming up, I'm just like eating a snack, like sipping whatever, just looking at the wall I drywalled. And I'm just like, I just have to stare at it. I have to like take a moment to take it in. And there's a version of that with art,
100%. And it happens a lot, and you have selective memory. You forget the long nights, the cold, and the all that stuff. And there's like that stupid. It's kind of stupid because I see it all the time. Now on social media where it's like, I have to be thankful for the privilege to be able to be up all night, but because it's really true. Like we're so lucky. But like the Hollow Man, dude, I was on the Hollow Man for 9 months
That's a long shoot.
Yeah, I'm just like, what is going to happen with this? And then it's an hour and a half of fun. Star Wars. I mean, obviously, JJ, he's on these things for a year. This movie that we just finished. I mean, so long, but then it all just comes together. It's like whittling. You have to start with this big, beautiful piece of wood, and you're going to whittle it down to something that someone's going to use to pick their teeth. It's like it's so small. A big ass spider, man. That was like. I mean, I was brought on, I starred in that. Like, if you haven't seen that movie, that costs nothing and feels bigger, and it's campy and fun. But again, you're like, is this ever going to come together? And you just trust. And then, like you're saying, it's like, Adam, it was just so many long hours, and this is so hard. You're drudging along. But then now it's the length of a song, dude.
Yeah.
It's 3 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, it's I don't know. It's that's what I love. I really do love about what we do. It's that, you wait around forever and you finally get to do what you're doing. And although I do have to say, choices in those long days, I don't know why this is hitting me, but when I'm working with directors that can make choices, it's my favorite thing in the world.
Sure.
When a director sees what he wants and goes, great. When I worked with Steven Spielberg, and then when JJ called me after, they're best friends, they're really good friends. And he called me and he was like, what was it like? Tell me everything. And I'm like, what? He goes, dude, from your side as an actor, what was that like? And I'm like, the most fun I've ever had. He goes, wait a minute, the most fun? I'm like, all right, granted.
Playing an X-Wing pilot was the most fun, but okay. Yeah,
exactly. But he just he knows what he wants. And when he hears it or when he's surprised by it, he goes, yeah, great, love it. And then I was like, Steven, what about, there was this thing. He was like, no. Loved it. I'm like, okay. you know,
the stories I've heard about Spielberg, the way he can, in his mind, because he's been a filmmaker nearly his whole life, right? Since he was 10 years old or whatever that was, like how he can see the whole thing in his mind. You think about the complexity of the blocking and everything with his shots, that he just has that all up there. There was a story about it may have been Saving Private Ryan or something, but like they got to a location and they were going to shoot this direction. They had this whole thing kind of planned out, and there was something with the weather, whatever it was, and it was like, no, we're gonna have to
flip the set.
We're gonna have to flip the whole thing essentially. And he just turns around and within minutes goes, all right, well, we'll just do this. And it's this like incredible, like kind of legendary scene. I'm not remembering the story.
You know them like, coming over the ridge, maybe
something like that. And it's all up there. And for me as an ADHD ridden brain, like that's like a goddamn superpower. Like
it is to be able to shift, and also on the day to see something, especially in these movies, like everything is thought out so far in advance, and you know, every build and everything is approved. And you know, when he's directing, you know, I'm hanging with him on days that I'm not working, right? So even when we're shooting, we'll shoot a scene and he's like, all right, so we're going to turn around, we're going to move the cameras. They'll be like, Jay, he gets in a cart, goes to another stage, approves this, goes over there. They're doing this massive stunt. Second team, you know, the second unit's stunt unit's shooting it. He's like, so I'm with him, and he's like approving that stunt, love it. Goes over here. Then they're editing on set, dude. The editor is on the stage.
That's crazy. Yep.
It's crazy. The scene we're shooting. She's like, I need a little more of a transition. He's like, all right, so let's go back. Thank God that it's so smart, because you're saving a lot of, you know, reshoot time or whatever.
100%.
That's wild on like something being shot on film, that like the turnaround with the dailies and then getting the shit in the computer and be like wild.
Well, yeah, but now, no, I mean, it's not film. I mean, you know, I'm talking about like what we just shot. Oh, actually Star Wars was, I mean, you're right. It's
well, and I remember specifically when they're talking about Rise, was like the editor was like, we were editing on site, which in 2017, when you guys were filming it, like that was pretty progressive at the time. And then of course, all these things become the new norm. And then now it's sitting there going, okay, we're compressing all of these times into what's the most efficient. And I can understand from that perspective of going, you just saved us, you know, an additional however many million reshoots. It does make sense in some ways. And I know that some people will look at it and go, well, that's not how movies are made. And I think we're all affected by some of those previous mentalities. But I mean, I don't know.
Well,
new way of doing it.
To go back to the Hollow Man, like I remember shooting back then. I mean, that was a long time ago, but it was all CG. I mean, it was like so much CG. Obviously, Kevin wasn't invisible. So he's in a green suit and he's like, you know, all great. It was like ridiculous, right? Yeah. And this one moment when a body comes out of a locker, and then I'm like, what's going on, guys? Blah. I had like finally had a real acting moment, you know, as opposed to just me and Josh Brolin walking around with guns or whatever. And I remember going, and he, you know, cut, Greg. And he comes over to me and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a note from the master now. This is going to be great. Finally, a real acting note. He grabs my shoulders and he goes, this right here, this, and then cut 3 seconds off, just 3 seconds. All right, let's go again. And I was like, that's his note. So it was all like, if you take 3 seconds out, that's 3 seconds less of CGI, I guess, or it was so crazy, you know.
A logistical version of Faster and More Intense.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
You know what? I just think, you know, the more I see people, the more I meet people, creative people, so you have to realize in any of our worlds, some people are just better than other people and more talented than other people, and you got to let them just do it, you know? Like let them lead. If it's, you know, especially if someone like whatever, like you're talking about JJ or whatever, it's like, or Steven Spielberg. They've had the runway. Their career speaks for itself. You got to trust them a little bit. You know?
And also, even somebody new coming up, you have to know I know my limits. I mean, my God, Don Blumberg sounds like Greg Grunberg. Okay, I'm very close to who I play on TV, and I love playing those real characters. I mean, a lot of people the best compliment someone can give me is like, man, you seem like a best friend. Like I see you on screen and it's familiar, and you know, and then there are other actors like Adam, it's a stretch, and you're just like, wow, man, he's just somebody incredible. Else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very happy being, you know, Gregor. Although I remember once, so I was shooting Felicity and Alias at the same time, and
Casual, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, that was ridiculous, right? And Jen Garner's mom, who's the sweetest person on the planet, she was visiting set, and she comes over, and she was a big Felicity fan. And I literally was Sean Blumberg, and then I changed into a suit and come over, and now I'm Agent Weiss on the next stage over at Disney. It was like the dream of dreams. And she comes over to me and she's like, "Hey, I just got to tell you, you know," and she's like, "I see you here on Alias, and it's like Sean Blumberg with a gun." She's like, "It doesn't work for me." Something like that, in the sweetest way. She was like, "I don't know," and I'm like, "Hey, that's what it is.
I'm kind of getting paid to be this way."
No, but this is who I am. I have limits. I have limits, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's Sean. It's like, you might as well put a calzone in my hand and take the gun out. It's like who I am. That's it.
Sure, 100%.
But that's fine.
Well, Greg, I'm becoming very aware of the time here. So do you mind if we hit you with a couple questions from our patrons and then do a little segment that we call I Love You, I Know, which is a favorites section?
Yeah.
One question I think I might know the answer. You can give two answers to this, I guess. Logan, patron, asks, who would you choose as your wingman in universe or not? Or both. One of each.
Oh, JJ. I mean,
nice.
JJ. Yeah, and vice versa. It's not a Batman Robin situation. It's like, we're on equal footing, and we've always been that for each other. He's
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, Starsky and Hutch. There you go. Ponch and John. Yep. And then wingman, like
in Star Wars.
In Star Wars, I mean, it would have to be Carrie. Yeah.
Yep.
Carrie.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, quick story is we're on set and she's like, we're hanging out and she goes, "We should really have a party tonight." And I'm like, "Okay." And they got into a whole party conversation of like, I'm like, I said, "JJ and I, we really don't party." She's like, oh, I know. She goes, "Partying, when you party is when you wake up in bed and the person you were with the night before is dead. That's when you really party." And I was like, "Oh my God.
I really don't party."
But she goes, "You got to have a party tonight at my flat. Everybody come out." And I was like, "Okay." And it was like during the day. I'm like, "Okay." Turns out I was exhausted and I get back to my hotel room and I'm just like, and I forgot about it. All of a sudden, I get a video that JJ shoots, and I still have it, and I cherish it to this day. It's Carrie looking into the camera, and she's like, "Oh, I want to have a party, but then I am on my period," said Greg, "so I can't make the party." And it's the greatest fucking video ever.
Oh.
And so having a wingman or wingwoman like her, who just speaks her mind, says it like she is, she's so funny and brilliant. That's what you want, and also can have your back and is super tough. I mean, she's the best.
That's
both
princess.
No.
Yeah, both princess and not, So yeah, great question.
She is she's always been like such a maternal figure to me. But it's weird, she reminds me of my dad. Like all the stuff that, like her real life personality, that irreverent, just kind of fucking get over yourself kind of attitude reminds me so much of my dad. But she, and in universe, is this maternal figure to me. And
how's your dad look in a bikini?
He looked like shit. He was a big beer belly, like bald, like like American Dad kind of cartoon character looking ass dude.
I love it.
And he was always he was a great dude.
I love it. Can I play your dad in the movie when we do a movie of your life?
Yes.
I got the ball. Look at this. I got the ball.
Yeah.
Got to get you the classic, like hair on the sides and
perfect.
A Butch beer and a cigarette.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but Carrie reminded me of him, and he introduced me to Star Wars. Like I saw Return of the Jedi as a 3-year-old in the theater with him. So
I love that.
I have a question from how do you like this patron screen name? 43% burnt Anakin. This is one of our favorite screen names.
Yeah.
How do you want the sequel trilogy to be remembered, Greg?
Oh wow. It's so funny. People they'll use this popcorn term. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, JJ stuff is so popcorn. And it's, or these movies are so popcorn. And it's so, I think
that's wrong.
I think it's wrong, but I think it's like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want the gravitas of the subject matter and the characters and the story. But dude, you better entertain me, man. If I'm, I want it to be a ride. I want it to be a roller coaster. I don't want it to go full speed all the time. I want it to slow down. I want to have fun. I want to laugh. Look at these movies. JJ starts with a laugh in Star Wars. I mean, it's like, it's just awesome. And
who talks? You going to talk? I talk first.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like those moments are so great. We shot something with Claude that I don't even know if it's on the extras, but it was so funny. JJ fell out of his chair. It's the Falcon lands back and Claude's standing there. No one knows who he is.
Nice.
and I'm standing there and I go, and everybody's celebrating, and I'm standing there and I go, who's this? And it was so fucking funny to have Snap Wexley standing there with him. And actually on that day, Oscar took a really great picture of me with Claude and the Falcon, and it's just beautiful. It's like a great, and you see the boom mic in the shot.
Sure.
It's great. I love that picture. And the fact that Oscar took it was with my phone. It was just great. But yeah, I mean, I just want that. I want that fun. Fun. I guess that is. So fun is the most important.
We talk about that so much on this podcast. Like we all love Andor. We think it's one of like the best things ever made, but it's depressing. Like it lacks fun. I think we all agree it's an important piece of art that needed to be made, and it's incredible that it was made within the Star Wars universe, but Star Wars has always been fun. That's why The Mandalorian, I think, resonates so much, and fun and funny in a way that like tonally somehow works together. And like I think JJ and Larry Kasdan are such witty, great writers, the way that they can balance that. And Empire was the first example of how you could really do it. And then I feel like The Force Awakens did it too, like pulling these heavy ass themes together with fun and funny.
Yeah, people. I'm asked, what was your favorite moment? Even though I had a small role in this stuff, but what was your favorite moment? And my favorite moment was when she goes, come on, lighten up, and I go, everything's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Great. I mean, that to me, it's a funny moment, and I'm like, oh my god, he kept it in. I got to be funny, So
And I think on the the popcorn comment is like, there is nothing more popcorn for me than seeing Rey take the Falcon through the carcass of a Star Destroyer and watching it fly upside down in JJ's signature way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But like when people look at the term popcorn, you kind of almost like a forgettable, like I walked out of there and whatever. But when I rewatch The Force Awakens and I see the water in Daisy's eyes when she realizes she has the Force, and when their lightsabers clash and you see the crossblades in their eyeballs and all, I'm like, there are amazing performances in here, especially Daisy and John were so young at the time when they made it. Adam too. So like for me, I go, popcorn is entertainment without a doubt, but like there is so much depth in these themes. And the performances given, I'm like, this is.
Who I have to say does it better than anyone, and he does it so naturally, is Boyega. He really does. He doesn't get as much credit for that balance of, just again gravitas and just solid performance, but also having those moments when you go, oh my god, I could so see myself in his shoes.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And vulnerable and like, it's just great. He's so fucking good, man. Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
He's a treasure.
He is.
All right, man. Well, we were going to ask you what your favorite moment was, but you answered it without even asking.
Exactly.
What a pro. What a pro.
I mean, I also was a mind reader for a while on the show. So
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I know the stuff that's coming. Before we go, can I just plug and thank the Star Wars community and the Star Trek community, but also Star Wars for always supporting. I have this talkaboutit.org. And if people haven't gone, please go to talkaboutit.org, subscribe. It takes you to YouTube. We have 400,000 subscribers now, and it's just important to learn about causes, to remove the stigma associated. Epilepsy is what we started with. It's mainly epilepsy now, but we're doing bleeding disorders, we're doing cancer, we're doing others. And when I call on like you guys and I call on other people in this community that have, you know, a real voice, a powerful voice, people fall in line so quickly behind these causes because we're all, you know, we're all like-minded and we all want to help each other. And we need more of that today.
Yes.
So thank you for supporting Talk About It and check it out. You know, that's important to me.
Of course.
Awesome. We'll put a link in the show notes, and
great.
When we start posting clips, we'll throw it all in there too, so we can help get the word out.
Oh, that'd be great. And let me know what I can, you know, pump out on my end too,
awesome.
to let people know. But thanks for having me on. I love it.
Thanks for being here, man. It's this has been probably the most fun on this podcast I've had in as long as I can remember. So,
dude, that's what I'm talking about.
I agree.
This is a total holiday present for everybody. This is the feather in the cap of 2025. Greg, we're so grateful to have you. And, you know, of course, go catch these guys, see them on tour. We'll send you some swag from Roosevelt's. We'll do all the stuff that we do. And hope that 2026 is an amazing year for you. And I'm very excited to see what is in store. More Star Wars is coming. We're geeked. And thanks for spending some time with us, Greg. We appreciate you.
Please. We need it. We need to do a concert with all of us, and that'll just be the icing on the cake. Let's do it.
There we go.
I love it. Thanks, guys.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And until next time, may the Force be with you. Thank the Maker is produced by Adam Russell and Jason Chiodo and edited by Jason Chiodo. If you enjoy the podcast, you can support us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Or you can support us directly at patreon.com/thankthemakerpod, where you can get access to our Discord server, exclusive content, exclusive merch, and more. Our patrons literally make Thank the Maker possible.